The CBN governor, thank you very much, is a part and parcel of the government of the day. He works directly with the Minister of Finance and with other government agencies under the doctrine of collective responsibility. Some people call it ministerial responsibility.
Does that mean he cannot speak up on something going on wrong if he sees it?
He cannot criticize his own government publicly, because that leads to disinvestment. That shakes the naira. And that is why the naira has been dancing a yo-yo dance, like Isha Babonarimi dancers from Ewoyimi in Edo State. When Sanusi came there, the naira was about 135 naira to the dollar. Today, it is anything between 165 naira to 172 naira to the dollar. The reason is that the main sentinel, the guardian angel, who should be there to stabilize the naira, is again behaving and making statements that undermine confidence in the economy of that country, and therefore the currency of that country.
Let me get your
This is dangerous.
What are the statements that he's made that, you know, sorry Chamberlain, that, you know, has made the naira dance the way it's danced?
Yes. Now, some of the statements can be gleaned from more like soap box theatrics. For example, in 2010, he was receiving an honorary doctorate degree at the University of Benin. And there, he told the whole world that the National Assembly is taking a large chunk of the nation's resources. And that, as a matter of fact, they take 25.46%. That immediately irked Nigerians and threw up the adrenaline of Nigerians. And one of them, I quickly issued a statement that this is calamitous, this is criminal. Later, it was discovered that the 1.3 trillion that was appropriated as overhead was actually 3.5%. That it was 1.3 trillion for the entire overhead of the federal government of Nigeria. And that what the National Assembly was taking from that was only 3.5%, not 25.46%. He recanted his words. That shook the confidence as to whether the CBN governor was master of figures, which he should. And mind you, a CBN governor is supposed to be seen and rarely heard, if at all it must be heard. I have some names here that I've noted. Some CBN governor that you may wonder, where is he from? Is he really a CBN governor? Because you may never have heard them. Have you ever heard of Haruhiko Kuroda? That's the governor of the Bank of Japan. Have you ever heard of Stephen Paulos? That is the governor of the Central Bank of Canada. Have you ever heard of Pham Peng? That is the governor of the Central Bank of China. Just a moment. Have you ever heard of near here, Kofi Wampa? Near here, the governor of the Central Bank of Ghana. Have you ever heard of Mr. McCain, the governor of the Bank of England? The truth is that these people are there working quietly because a CBN governor is conservative. He carries himself with decorum, with magisterial dignity expected of the revered office. When you talk, if you must speak at all, you speak with facts and figures in a way as to build confidence in your national economy. But we had a CBN governor who flip-flopped over figures of an amount allegedly missing or not paid into the Federation account by NNPC. He started with 49.8 billion naira. I was one of those. I quickly issued a statement that I fell short of calling the NNPC and the Ministry of Finance and all people involved. I fell short of calling the criminals or thieves. I was just careful in my choice, in my press statement. Now, upon reconciliation, the same CBN governor came out and said, oh, it was an error. It was not 49.8 billion naira. It was 20, sorry, not naira, not 49.8 billion dollars. It was 20 billion dollars. Then they went to the Senate last month and faced the Senate. While they were in the Senate, he brought down the figure from 20 billion dollars, which he said was missing, to 12 billion dollars.
Chief, I think you
just a moment.
No, just a moment.
I'm giving you instances because you asked for instances, and I have to give you the instances.
Just a moment, sir. I think that you have it a little twisted, because I think the figures went from $49.8 billion to $12 billion.
No, to 20.
Just a moment.
I have my faster figures.
Just a moment, sir. Well, that's not how we remember the sequence of events.
But why don't you let me finish the then you can
just a moment. I want to see. I want to see if you agree with us, because what we finally came up with and what we heard after the reconciliation that was done sometime in December was that the CBN governor came up with $12 billion. But just then, the Minister for Finance...
You are preempting me. 10.8.
Just a moment, sir. The Minister for Finance chipped in at the same event that it was $10.8 billion they had as their figure. But very recently, over this kerosene subsidy...
Yes, he went back.
Yes, and said that what he has is...
It's 20 billion.
It's 20 billion.
Yes.
Is that how you remember the sequence?
Yes, that's what I was saying almost there.
No, because what you were saying was that he was 49.8, then he said 20, then he said 12.
No, I still stand by that. He said, listen, he said 49.8, then 20, then 12, then confronted by the minister before the Senate, who said, no, he can't even be 12.
No, that was not how we remember the sequence.
Well, that is how you remember it. I have my own part.
We still have...
Google this.
No, so we still have a report.
No.
Would you like us to play
but the important thing is that he did come down from 49.8 billion to 12 billion. Did he or did he not? He did. The minister confronted him and said, no, what was unaccounted for, which is being reconciled. She did not say what is missing. She said, what has not been reconciled is 10.8 billion. That was what was agreed upon that day.